Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a TV house, but not just any random TV house. What I've done is I've taken the TV set from The Simpsons and I have turned it into a giant house. I have had a lot of suggestions in the past to just take a TV and turn it into a house, which is a really cool idea. And if I did that, it'd actually look a little something like this, which is a pretty cool looking house all by itself. But what I decided to do was take it one step further, ascend into Super Saiyan mode, and I decided to take the TV set from The Simpsons and turn it into a big giant house, which I think looks really cool. And not only have I done the exterior, not only have I done the TV set itself, but I've kind of done something which I like to call Simception, because I've taken the Simpsons living room and I've thrown it on the inside of the TV, so you can watch the TV whilst you're in the TV, whilst you're watching TV. Mind blown. Simception. I'm not actually going to show you how to make the inside of this. I'm not going to show you how to do all of this because I expect that you'll want to do something a little bit different, but I'll absolutely show you how to make this wonderful looking giant TV set. Why don't we actually get into the tutorial? So if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some cyan stained clay, some light blue clay, some blue stained clay, some black wool, and some grey stained glass. Yeah, that's all you really need. It doesn't use too many materials whatsoever, and it's very easy to make. So once you have each one of those materials, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making it right about here, I think. Well, what you're going to want to do is you want to kick this build off with a row of 4 black wool coming directly up from the ground. That'll look like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then on top of that 4th block, place a light blue clay. Then take that light blue clay and extend it towards you by 1. Take that block, extend it right by 2, 1, 2, but also extend it left by 3. That'll be 1, 2, and 3, like that. Go up on top of that 3rd block with your light blue by 2, that's 1 and 2. Then go up by 7 with your blue stained clay. So what I'm going to do to stop any sort of confusion, we're going to call this light purple, we're going to call this dark purple. So go up on top of that by 7 with your dark purple. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then take that 7th block and go right of it by 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then take that 4th block, extend it down until it is even with the very first dark purple and connect it back over, like this. Then split the middle of the shape with a row of dark purple going from top to bottom right in the center, and fill those 2 empty parts in with black wool. This is just a little bit of a speaker on the TV, or that's what I assume it is. It's a pretty old TV, to be honest with you. So what we then want to do is we want to take these 3 center blocks that we have right at the top of the shape, the speaker, and we want to go up on top of these 3 center blocks by 3 rows with our light purple. So we want to do 1, 2, 3. Then do a row of dark purple on top. You then want to take this very left-hand dark purple, do an up left diagonal from it, go up by 2, do an up right diagonal, right by 2, do a bottom right diagonal, down by 2, fill the center of the shape in. Then you want to take the 3 center blocks running up the middle of the shape and you want to extend them out by 1, so it should be quite easy to see what you have to do there, but there you go. You want to take those 3 center blocks right in the middle, right, cutting it up top to bottom. You want to extend those outwards by 1. Then on top of the top row of 3 dark purple, stack another row of 3 light purple, so that'll look like 1, 2, and 3. Then do another row of dark purple, take the very left hand dark purple, do an up left diagonal from it, go up by 2, do an up right diagonal, right by 2, do a bottom right diagonal, down by 2, and then fill the center of this shape in with dark purple, like this. Then the same way that you extended the 3 center blocks down for the previous knob, the previous dial, I figure one's the channel and one's the volume, you want to do the same thing. You want to extend out the center. And once you've done that for that second dial, you want to take the top 3 dark purple blocks again, and you want to add a layer of light purple on top. You want to add 3 layers in total. That would be 1, 2, and 3 like this. What we now want to do is we want to come all the way down. We want to come all the way down, and we want to take this very right-hand bottom light purple clay, and we want to extend this upwards, and we want to extend it upwards until we are in line with the very top light purple that we have on the left, the 3 rows of 3 that we've just made. Connect it together. Move to the left and take this left-hand top light purple, extend it left by 2, 1, 2, like this, until it's overhanging the dials. Extend this downwards, all the way down until it is in line, or as a matter of fact, it will connect all the way down to the bottom of the TV, like that, and you'll end up with something that should look a little bit like this. Kind of easy, right? Well, the next thing that we just have to do is just fill the center of this shape that we've made, and that has all of the dials, and it has the speaker, and it has this and that, and all sorts of three-eyed fish. It has everything that you could possibly want. Well, you just want to fill this in with light purple clay. So, once you have just completely filled this in, this is what you want to do next. So, since I'm all the way up at the top, but you could start from the bottom if you so chose, starting from the very top left-hand corner light purple clay, we want to go left of this by, this is a long number, big number, 37. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, perfect. We then want to take this 37th block, we want to extend it downwards, and we want to extend it down until it seems to be in line with that bottom row of purple that we have on the right hand side. Well, once it seems to be about in line, we want to come all the way over to this bottom row of purple, and we want to take this bottom left hand corner block and we want to extend it all the way over to the left. And the reason that we're doing this is just to make sure that we actually get the right shape. So we want to extend this all the way over to the left. Perfect. We would have got it right anyway, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. Too many times have I extended from the wrong side and I've been wrong. So once you've got that taken care of, you might be able to see how this TV is actually shaping up at the moment. Once you've got that taken care of, the next thing we want to do is we want to take this single row of purple that we have. So we have a single row at the bottom, on the left and up top. Well, we want to add an additional layer of light purple inside of the bottom, left-hand side, and the top. So it'll end up looking like a C shape. Basically just the letter C, but we just want to reinforce it. We want the actual part around the TV screen to be 2 blocks thick. So that's all we're doing, very easy, and we just want to end up with something that should look like that. Next thing we can do is we can add a layer of blue stained clay directly inside of the rectangular shape that we now have. So we just want to add a layer of blue stained clay directly inside of the rectangular shape, and we want to go all the way around, and that itself will turn into a big rectangle. So that's what we're after. It'll take a second or two because it's actually a pretty big screen. Now, I don't know how many blocks the screen is exactly, but it's got to be about 35, 33, somewhere in that range. Now, once you have the big rectangle with your dark purple, we now want to one row inside of this big rectangle, one row inside, literally inside and tracing along inside of the rectangular row of purple, we want to have another row of purple. Because I'm not sure if you've ever looked at the Simpsons TV screen, it's actually concave. That means that it goes inwards. I don't know why, because I always thought that like older TVs, or at least every single one that I've owned, kind of like they pop outwards, kind of like a bubble, but this one, it goes inwards. Anyway, so we want to have a slightly smaller rectangular shape inside of the screen. And what we then want to do is inside of each one of the 4 corners of the shape that we've made, we want to add this shape to the corners. I don't know why I'm having trouble with that sentence. We want to add this shape inside each one of the 4 corners. We want to do this. So we want to add 3 blocks, kind of just rounding off the corner like that. So we place 1 in the direct center, 1 above, 1 to the right. So every single corner, just 1 in the center, 1 below, 1 to the right. And this one here, it's just 1 in the very corner, 1 below, 1 to the left, and if we come all the way down here, we just have 1 in the corner, 1 above, 1 to the left. And this just rounds off the screen a little bit, so it just makes it look a little bit better. And we then want to take out our cyan stained clay, and inside of the dark purple circular shape that we now have, we now want to form a cyan stained clay one. So one row behind, one row inside, we want to have a circular shape. We want to have the cyan connect at the corners to once again reinforce the circular kind of, it's not just a square screen, we want to have a circular TV screen, or it's more of an oval really, but you guys will see what I'm talking about. We kind of just want to go around the outside or around the inside of the purple shape that we've already made for the screen. You guys can see what I'm talking about, and we want to have something which should look a little bit like this. So just to show you, there you go guys, it's very easy to see what you have to do, even if it isn't that easy to describe. So that's what you want to have. Now once you've done that, the next idea would be to completely fill this in with dark grey glass, or as it's known, just grey stained glass. I believe that the other variety is called light grey glass. You can use any colour that you like. If you want the screen to be ever so slightly lighter, use light grey. If you want it to be darker, dark grey. Even darker still, use black. Use whatever you like. But the idea from here would be to completely fill in the screen. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to do that later. Now we're going to form the dimensions of the TV. I'm going to show you how far this thing goes back. So what we now want to do, and what we ultimately want to do, is we want to take each one of the back four corners of the screen, and with our light purple, we want to extend those four corners back by 21. So it'll look like this. It'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, right? We then want to do the same thing for all of the other corners, but an easier way to do this is to take this 21st block and kind of just extend it to the left. Extend it to the left until it is seemingly lined up with the opposite corner of the TV. So until it's right about, shall we say about here, I think. And then we can take this corner, instead of counting out 21, which is tedious and irritating to the throat, we can just connect it back. And then we can do the same thing with these rows of 21, and we can extend them upwards until they are seemingly about in line with the top two corners of the TV, and then we can take those top two corners, we can extend them backwards, we can connect everything together. And it's so much of an easier way to do things than to simply just count out the 21 over and over again and then connect everything together. It's really so much easier, and you can see that I'm automatically doing it, and you might even find yourself doing it yourself, like you're just turning this into a big giant rectangle, and this is the dimensions of the TV. I mean, you can see quite clearly, like, that's how the TV is supposed to look. That's about how big it is. There you go. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, still focusing on the bottom of the TV, you might notice that the TV only has one leg at the moment. Did it lose one? No, it didn't. We just haven't given it the other ones yet. So we want to come all the way down to this very first row of 4 black wool. And what we want to do is we want to take this top row, this top black wool, and we want to extend it coming inwards towards the center of the TV by 2. So that's 1 and 2, like that. We then want to take that second block, extend it down by 1, but we then want to take that first block and we want to extend it down by 2, 1, 2, to give us this shape. We also want to reinforce that shape by adding an additional layer of said shape behind it. So we want to have a pretty chunky leg for the TV. And as a matter of fact, just to give you guys a bit of an idea, the way that we will later access the TV is going to be up this leg. You may have saw this at the very start of the video. It's very possible that you may have seen it at the very start of the video, but the way that we'll get into the TV is by climbing up that leg, and, well, then we'll be in the TV. What more do you need to know? So that's one leg. Let's do the same thing 3 more times. So we'll come to the very back of the TV now, and to put it into perspective, I'm really having trouble talking today. We'll take this back corner block, right? This one that we can't actually see, and we want to go left of this, and we want to find the third block in. So that's the first, second, third. We want to take this third block, we want to extend it towards the center of the TV by 1. We then want to do a black wool underneath this and connect it down to the ground. So I've done a really bad job at doing that, but you want to connect it down to the ground. We then want to take the top block and we want to extend it inwards by 2, 1, 2. We want to take that second block, extend it down by 1, and we want to take the first and extend it down by 2, 1 and 2. We then want to add a layer of black wool directly behind this, coming towards the center of the TV, so we'll have something which should look like that, and that is the second leg of the TV. let's do the same on the opposite side. So if we were to come over to the opposite side, we're on the front left-hand corner now. We want to take this bottom front left-hand corner block, this one. We want to move in by 2 towards the center, 1, 2. We then want to come behind this block, so we have to refine it again, but it's this one. We want to extend it backwards by 1, the light blue, do a black wall underneath it, connect that black wall to the ground. We then want to take the top black wall, extend it left by 2. We then want to go down from the second block by 1. We want to take the first one, extend it down by 2, and then we want to do a layer of black directly behind it. Now, I realize that I may have said that a little bit fast, but we've already done this a few times already. Next thing we're going to do is of course, the last leg. So this is the corner block. We want to move in and find the third. That's 1, 2, and this is the third. We want to move backwards from it by 1 with the light blue clay. We want to do black wool underneath this until it connects all the way down to the ground. So we want to, again, a little bit better than I am. There we go. Connect it down to the ground. We want to take that top block. We want to extend it right by 2, 1, 2. We then want to go down from that second block by 1, the first one by 2. We then want to add another layer of black wool directly behind this. So that will give us the 4 legs of our Simpsons TV house. Yeah, those are the legs. Once you've got that taken care of, you've done most of the detail, but there is some still left to do. And it's not particularly fun to do because it requires a little bit of counting. So what you want to do next is you want to come all the way up to the top front left hand corner of the TV, because it is now time for us to do the aerial. You know, the big giant aerial that's kind of old fashioned and you have to like bend the actual like cables and stuff so that you can actually get reception. Well, you want to start from this top front left hand corner block and you want to count in and find the 20th block in. So I'm going to actually use like black wool to help me count. So this will be go from left towards the center. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm then going to take this 20th block, I'm going to extend it backwards by 1 with the black wool. I'm then going to place a cyan stained clay. From this cyan stained clay, I'm going to go right of it by 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I then want to do like 2 upright diagonals, as if I was looking down on it, but I'm not. So like 1 and 2. I then want to go back from that second upright diagonal by 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I then, again, as if I'm like looking down on it, I want to do 2 up left diagonals, so that'll look like 1 and then 2. I then want to take that second one, I want to go left of it by 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I then want to do 2 bottom left diagonals, so 1 and 2. I then want to go down by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I then want to do a bottom right diagonal, and that will connect me back to where I first started. On top of this layer of cyan stained clay, I want to add an additional layer of cyan stained clay. This will take a little bit of time, but we want to add an additional layer of cyan stained clay. Then above this shape, above and inside this shape, we want to do a layer of cyan stained clay that goes around the inside, and it wants to just, like I said, it kind of wants to go around the inside and it wants to connect together at the corners. So it'll look a little something like that. So it's a big giant plus looking shape. Then 1 row above and inside of this, we want to do a layer of cyan stained clay. So just do a layer of cyan stained clay just to fill in the shape that we just have left right at the top of the aerial, like that. We then want to take out our black wool because it's now time for us to do the antennae. And we want to, starting with the left one, because the left and right ones are both different, we want to, starting from the very top left hand center cyan stained clay, which is this one, we want to place a black wool on top of it. Then from this black wool, we want to do an up left diagonal. Go left by 3, 1, 2, 3. Then do 2 bottom left diagonals, 1 and 2. Then left by 1. Do 2 up left diagonals, 1 and 2. We then want to go up 1, do 2 up left diagonals, 1 and 2. We then want to do a bottom left diagonal, go left by 2, then extend that first block in the row of 2 up by 1, down by 1. You also want to take the center block in this plus shape, extend it towards you by 1, and extend it backwards by 1 as well. And that is the left antennae for the actual left antenna, whatever the word is, that is the left antenna for the actual TV aerial. And then if we were to go to the right hand side now, the right hand side where we have this center cyan stained clay block, we want to place a black wool on top of this. We want to do an upright diagonal, go up by 2, 1, 2. We then want to do an upright diagonal, go up by 2. Then do an upright diagonal, up by 1. Upright diagonal, right 1, up 1. Do an upright diagonal, up by 2. take that first block in the row of 2, left and right by 1. Then take the center block, extend it forwards and backwards by 1, and there you will find the second antenna. There it is. There it is, all done. And once you've got that taken care of, you've actually completed the hard part of the TV. But you've not completed the boring part of the TV, because the next part that we have to do is very, very, very dull and boring. But the next part that we're going to do is we have to fill in the entire TV with light blue stained clay. Yeah, I know, not fun. We have to fill in the entire TV in with light blue stained clay. That's the bottom, left, right, back, top. We have to fill that in with light blue clay, and we also have to fill the screen in with grey stained glass. Now, I'm not doing this on recording for obvious reasons, because it takes really, really long time. It takes ages. But once I've got that taken care of, and once you have that taken care of, we can now talk about what you might want to do for the inside of the TV. Although I'm not going to show you how to make any of the inside of the TV, I'm going to leave that to you, but there's plenty of ideas as we're going to loop back around to the very first one. So I'll be back in just a second, and we can discuss what we're going to be doing after this. So this is what your TV house should look like once you've completely filled it in. Now that'll probably take you a while. You fill the entire thing in with a light blue stained clay, also known as light purple clay, and then you fill the screen in with your glass of choice. I have used the grey stained glass, the darker of the grey glasses, and this is how it ends up looking, which is perfectly fine. It looks quite nice like this, but there are a couple of things that I would definitely do just to make it look a little bit brighter. So if I was to change this after you've got that complete, and I understand that will take you a really long time to do, like, I'd just add some lighting in here. It's actually easier for me to show you what you might want to do using the original version of this TV, so why don't I flip back to the first one, and then I can show you what you may want to do. So on the original version of the TV, you can notice that I have a whole set of redstone lamps going all the way around the inside of the screen, and I also have quite a bit of redstone lampage all the way up top, and I also have it quite lit up as well. This makes the house just look a little bit more interesting from the outside. It makes it look a little bit more inviting. Like if you take away the Simpsons and if you take away all of the stuff inside, then the house is really, really lit up. So regardless of whether or not you want to like stick like the Simpsons on the front of the house, or if you want to make your very own like little miniature version of the living room, which we actually have in here, then that's completely up to you. And like I said, in this tutorial, at the very least, I don't think at all I'm going to show you how to make this, but at the very least in this tutorial, I'm not going to show you what you can do to the inside of this. I'm not going to actually block for block lay out what you may want to do to the inside, but I mean, if this gives you guys a bit of inspiration for what you might want to do to the inside of this house, whether you want to turn it into a big giant Minecraft house, which you can absolutely do, if you then wanted to take like the under part of the sofa here, and if you wanted to like chuck a bed in here, and if you wanted to just basically just turn this into a big giant house, then you absolutely could. Like you can still have your big giant cool Simpsons themed house, but you could have laid within that another house. Yeah, it's kind of like Houseception. It's Simception times 2. So you could just have the actual sofa open, and you could just have a little miniature house in that, a nice little base. And it's actually kind of hard to find because, of course, like, it's not 100% obvious that this is even a house as you look at it from the outside. Only really you would know, because it's kind of inconspicuous the way that you get in this thing. You have to actually like go underneath and find the ladders. So whether you want to turn this into a big giant house, or whether you just want the novelty of a Simpsons TV, then that's completely up to you. But regardless, I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, please give this video a like. I'd really, really appreciate it. I honestly would. I love this house to bits. I think it looks really, really cool. I haven't made a house quite like this ever, so I hope that you guys really appreciate it. Plus, I also love The Simpsons to death, so it's kind of really great for me to actually build something Simpsons related once again. Like I said, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. Comment down below, what else would you like to see me do next? Do you want me to do the interior for this house? Is that something you'd be interested in me doing? I don't know, probably not. It wouldn't be a very long video. It's quite easy to do the interior, but let me know regardless. What else do you want me to do in the future anyway. Just do let me know down there in the comments. I always have a look at what you guys have suggested. Follow me on Twitter at TSMC360. You can do the same thing there. Plus, if you do make this house, send me pictures of it, guys. What are you doing? Send me pictures of the stuff that you build. I really do enjoy to see your guys' creations. I really, really do. Also, check out the cards in the description below for all of the other builds that I have done recently. Not only do I build like theme houses like this, but I also build like regular houses, which there aren't very many of around here, but like there's a cafe in the distance, there's a public toilet, there's a barbershop, there's a giant cookie house, there's miniature mobs, there's a radio station. You guys get the idea. We do all sorts of crazy stuff around here, so just let me know what you want me to make and subscribe if you haven't already, because that's the only way that you can find out whether I've made your creation or not. And, well, just hang around. You'll eventually see something that you like. You honestly will. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.